So far we learned about what is chain and what are the different types of chains available, right? So what is chain? Chain will allow us to combine multiple components together to create a single coherent application, right? And we have several chain types available, and we will see the implementation of these chain types one by one, right? The first one is single chain. So let's go to VS Code and see the implementation of single chain, right? So you can create a chain that takes user input, formats it with a prompt template, and we have already seen this in our prompt engineering demo already. So let me go to prompt engineering demo and let's try to open one of the prompt engineering type. So here you can see we have used LLM chain, right? And if you go to this basic chain, we are trying to bind both LLM and prompt together by using this LLM chain, right? So you can build more complex chains by combining multiple chains also together. So this chain is not new to you. We have already seen another chain, that is conversation chain, when we did our different types of memory implementations, right? For example, if you come here, we have seen conversation chain, right? So if you see this chain, we are trying to bind LLM with memory, right? So that is the advantage of using chain. So similar to conversation chain, we have several other chain types available. So now the first one is simple chain, right? So let me close these, and similar to how we have done before, I have created an empty folder which is called chains demo. So let's try to add this folder to our build generative AI applications workspace, right? So come to this explorer, right click, add folder to workspace, and select chains demo and add an S, right? So this is an empty folder, we do not have anything here, right? So let's try to create an Python file. So we are starting with a simple chain, so let's try to save this inside our chains demo, and let's save this as single chain demo and save it. And here we will be using OpenAI as our LLM. So let me try to create an environment file here, .env, where we can store our API key, right? I've already shown how to get the API key from OpenAI, right? So make sure you get your key and store it here. Store your API key here, okay? So once you store your API key here, first thing is let's try to install all the required packages and then import all the modules that are required, right? So make sure you install LangChain OpenAI. Whenever you get any message that the module is not found, then make sure you install the corresponding package by using pip install. So all you have to do is go to the terminal and then type here. For example, let's say if you do not have LangChain OpenAI package installed on your machine, then just type pip install LangChain OpenAI and hit enter. Then LangChain OpenAI package will be installed on your machine, right? I have already installed, so I'm not installing again. And then we are trying to load chat OpenAI from LangChain OpenAI, and then chat prompt template from LangChain prompts chat, and human message prompt templates again from LangChain prompts and chat. And this is to load the environment variable where we stored our API key, right? What we did so far, we have installed all the required packages and then we loaded our modules and save it. And the first thing is let's try to load the environment variables from .env file by using load_.env function, right? And then once we load the environment file, next thing is let's try to read the API key by using this OS module and use the getEnv function, and this is the name we have given inside our env file, right? So this is where we try to store our API key. So we are trying to read the API key and assign this to API_key. So once we read the API key, let's try to assign this API key to environment variable which is called OpenAI API key. So once we have the API key, if you notice here we have human message prompt template. So let's try to create a simple prompt by using this human message prompt template, which is imported from LangChain prompts chat, right? So we are trying to create a simple prompt by using human message prompt template, and inside this we have a method called from template, and here you can pass the message. Make a funny company name for a company that produces this product, and this product is a dynamic variable, right? So instead of hard coding the value, we are just trying to use a dynamic variable, and we will pass the value to this variable when we invoke the method, right? So instead of hard coding the value, we are using a dynamic variable, right? So the next thing is we have chat prompt template, right? So let's try to create a chat prompt template by using this chat prompt template. So we have already created the prompt, which is nothing but human message prompt, and let's pass this to our chat prompt template, right? So we are using chat prompt template, which is inside LangChain prompts chat, and inside that we have a method called from messages, and we are passing this simple prompt, right? So we have the prompt ready. This chat prompt template has the prompt, that is the question that we will be asking to our LLM, which is nothing but OpenAI, right? So what we are trying to ask, make up a funny company for a company that produces the corresponding product. We will pass the product and it will give us the funny company name, right? So our prompt template is ready. So before we use our chain, we need an LLM, right? So now let's try to initialize our OpenAI LLM by using chat OpenAI, which is from LangChain OpenAI. So this is our chat prompt template. Next thing is let's initialize LLM. So we know we can initialize LLM by using this chat OpenAI, and I'm assigning to a variable called LLM. So we have our chat prompt template ready, and we also have our LLM ready. Now once we have both LLM and prompt template ready, so let's try to bind our LLM with this chat prompt template by using chain, right? Bind LLM and chat prompt template. So always remember, this pipeline is a representation of a chain. So here we are trying to bind LLM with the prompt template by using this chain, okay? And we are assigning to a variable called chain. So this is a single chain, right? So we have created the chain by binding LLM with the chat prompt template. So this chain is nothing but combining multiple components, and here the components are LLM with chat prompt template, okay? So once we have the chain ready, inside the chain we have a method called invoke, which we have already used in our previous implementations, right? So let's try to call the invoke method and pass the product name, right? So inside the chain we have the method called invoke, and for the input attribute we are trying to pass the topic name and call the content attribute and assign this to a variable called funny company name. So here we have to pass the value to this dynamic variable product, and we are passing by using input is equal to topic. So we have to initialize the variable by assigning the value to this, right? So for example, let's say the topic name is travel. So this travel will be passed here. So when we invoke, this travel name will be replaced here, and then it will try to give us a funny company name for a company that produces travel, right? Now let's try to see what we have inside this funny company name, and here you can replace this topic with any other product. Instead of travel, you can replace with any other product and see what is the funny company name that our LLM is trying to give us, right? So now let me try to print and see what we have inside the funny company name, right? So let's try to run the code. So you can see this is the funny company name for a company that produces travel, right? So Wanderlust RS, your one-stop shop for slightly off-centered adventures. So this is one of the funny company name, and let me just try to format this, right? Instead of just printing this way, let's just try to comment this. We've already seen this, so I'm commenting this as well. So what we are doing here, I'm just trying to bold it here. So this is a new line, /n is a new line, and this is just for making this text bold. I'm just giving this, and this is the topic. Make a funny company name for the topic travel. So this will come as bold because we are giving this, and then I'm just trying to print 50 times this hyphen, and then this is we are trying to make it not bold, and then it will give the value of the funny company name, right? So let's try to kill this and then rerun the code. So now you can see make a funny company name for the topic travel, right? So this travel is passed here. So I'm just trying to bold it here, and then we are trying to print 50 times this, and then this is to make it not bold, and then we are trying to print the value funny company name. So this is the funny company name our LLM OpenAI is trying to give us, right? So let's say instead of travel, if you are interested in tennis, right? So let's replace this and rerun the code. So now you can see make a funny company name for the topic tennis, smash hits rocket go, right? This is the funny company name it has given us. And then now instead of tennis, let's replace this with chess, right? And let's rerun the code. So now you can see checkmate comedy chess go, where every move is a funny one, right? Or instead of chess, let's give dance and rerun the code. So for dance, this is the funny company name it has given us. So now you get the idea of how to use chain to bind one or more than one components together. You can bind multiple chains, or you can bind LLM with either template or memory, right? So you can try to bind LLM with multiple components by using this chain. So that is the objective of using chain. So what we have done here, we have installed all the required packages, that is LangChain OpenAI, by using pip install LangChain OpenAI, and then we have imported all the required modules. Here we are using these modules: chat OpenAI to chat with our OpenAI LLM, and then prompts. We have used chat prompt template to create this template, and also human message prompt template. And then by using this load_.env, here we have created the environment variable. Inside that we have stored OpenAI API key. So we are trying to load that by using load_.env, and then we try to read the key, and we store this key inside our environment variable OpenAI API key, right? So let me close this. So once we have the key ready, next thing what we did, we tried to create a simple prompt by using this human message prompt template. Inside that we have a method called from template, and we passed our template. We're trying to make a funny company name for a company that produces this product, and this product we will be passing when we try to invoke the chain here, right? And then here we are trying to create a chat prompt template by using chat prompt template, which is inside LangChain prompts chat, and inside that we have a method called from messages, and we are passing this prompt, right? And then we got our chat prompt template. So we got the template ready. Next thing is LLM. This is how we can initialize our LLM, which is nothing but OpenAI, right? So inside LangChain OpenAI, we have this chat OpenAI. So by using that, we are trying to initialize our LLM. And once we have the LLM and the template ready, we are trying to bind our LLM with the chat prompt template by using this chain. So this pipeline is a representation of chain. So once we have the chain ready, inside chain, we have the method called invoke, and for input attribute, we are trying to pass the topic, which is nothing but our product, right? Dot content, and this will give us the funny company name, and we are trying to print it. So we are passing the product, and it will give us the funny company name, right? So the objective of chain is to bind LLM with any other component, right? It can be template or memory or any other component, right? So this is a single chain where we passed our product name, and it gave us a funny company name for that product. All right. Thank you.